And I want to thank the witnesses for being here, although I know there could be more comfortable hearings to attend. I regret we need to have this hearing. We're here because OPM, the FBI, and GSA have not substantially complied with the committee's request for documents from several months ago. We've witnessed a stunning lack of cooperation across the administration in response to multiple congressional investigations. For this committee to perform its important constitutional oversight mission, we must have documents and information requested from agencies, and that in turn requires cooperation. When the committee or a subcommittee sends a request for documents or a written response for answers, we expect meaningful and timely compliance and not stall tactics and obfuscation. It is because of a breakdown in that process you three are here today. Today, we'll be asking each of you to justify your respective agencies' troublesome production track record and to identify those hurdles preventing full compliance and to offer tangible solutions so the committee can fulfill its constitutionally mandated oversight duty. This morning, we will examine the status of responses to 3 committee and subcommittee investigations. First, the committee is investigating the administration's plan to abolish the Office of Personnel Management. We believe, on our side certainly, it's a reckless proposal that lacks merit, justification, or a coherent rationale. Frankly, doubts have been raised about it on a bipartisan basis. The subcommittee has requested basic documents from OPM, an agency that runs programs that serve our federal government's 2.7 million active employees, more than 2.5 million federal retirees, and more than 8 million family members who receive health care benefits. We requested documents that any project manager would have required for even a simple restructuring of an organization. We asked for a legal analysis of the administration's authority to eliminate OPM, a cost-benefit analysis, and a timeline. These aren't intrusive requests. We wanted to know whether this would work and whether the administration had done its homework such that it could persuade us as to the merits. We've concluded it won't, and they haven't. We've received next to nothing in response to this straightforward document request, and no information provided adequately demonstrates how this plan would improve services to current federal or former federal employees and their families. If we've been unclear thus far, let me take the opportunity to clarify that from our point of view, this half-baked proposal is going to be dead on arrival here on Capitol Hill. The administration's intention to dismantle OPM is reckless. OPM's acting director has reportedly boasted about, quote, planning to play chicken with Congress, unquote, by furloughing or taking hostage 150 employees of OPM if Congress did not provide the administration with authority to eliminate the agency by October 1. This is not a game. These are real lives at stake. OPM's blanket refusal to provide the information the committee has requested is unacceptable. OPM offered additional records just this week. It's ironic that the new records make reference to the documents we've been asking for without providing them. The latest documents convince us even more that the administration is attempting an end run in order to eliminate more than 130 years of merit-based, nonpartisan civil service. Second, the committee is investigating the abrupt decision to abandon the long-term plan to move the FBI headquarters to a suburban location and replace it with a more costly plan to keep Pennsylvania Avenue location, demolish the existing J. Edgar Hoover building, and construct a new facility on the same site. Now, in order to make that pivot, the administration had to abandon some of the compelling criteria that had dominated this RFP for well over 8 years. And they included consolidation of the workforce. They included modernization, taking cognizance of 21st century forensics and DNA research, and getting safe setbacks, which cannot be achieved at the current location, which has inherently urban setbacks that are inherently insecure. In February of 2018, I wrote the GSA Inspector General and requested that she investigate the GSA's decision-making role and the role of the White House, if any, in influencing the decision. In August of 2018, the Inspector General issued a report that noted inaccuracies in the cost estimates presented to Congress to the tune of more than $500 million, and revealed that the President was personally participating in discussions regarding this revised plan, and there are pictures to prove it. Yet, despite all parties within the administration claiming the FBI alone made the decision, the FBI has turned over just 1,300 pages in the last 3.5 months, and that includes a last-minute production last night. I might add, in talking to the FBI, I was assured that they have gone through and filtered 1.5 million documents. And when we had that conversation, we were in possession of 490 of them, some of them redacted, some of them redundant. While we can admire the production going on at the FBI, we're not so sure we admire the responsiveness to this committee's request. To say that Congress continues to have questions about the abrupt and rushed reversal in the FBI's years-long plan, and that the change of heart involved direct communications with the chief executive of the country, is an understatement. Third, the committee is actively investigating the federal lease for the old post office building between GSA and the Trump Organization. Because President Trump refused to completely divest himself of his global web of business interests, he's currently both the landlord and the tenant, technically, of what is now called the Trump International Hotel. To date, GSA has refused to turn over financial documents relevant to the committee's investigation that would shed light on any potential conflicts of interest or constitutional concerns with respect to the emolument clause. Finally, I want to address a troubling development across several committee and subcommittee investigations. All three agencies represented here today, OPM, GSA, and the FBI, have suggested that they are withholding many documents because they are draft documents regarding decision-making. There's a problem. That decision-making is exactly the focus of the committee and subcommittee's investigations, not a new thing to this Congress. Whether it's the decision to abolish a federal agency that serves the federal workforce, a multi-billion-dollar construction decision affecting thousands of FBI staff and, frankly, the security and safety of the country, or the decision to allow our President to serve as both landlord and tenant of his own hotel, which is on government-owned property, such decision-making documents are critical to our examination and investigation. Last week, as I said, the FBI Deputy Director, David Bowditch, called me personally to discuss the agency's compliance or lack thereof. And as I said, while I thanked him for the outreach and the 1.5 million documents he said that have been examined, I did give him specific directions in terms of what would satisfy the committee's inquiry. And unfortunately, those conditions have not met. It's my hope that today's hearing will provide some answers and prod our fellow federal employees to cooperate with the Committee of Jurisdiction so that we don't have to resort to methods of compulsion. And with that, I turn to my distinguished ranking member, my friend, Mr. Meadows.